Hello, everybody, and welcome to another unscripted review thing, video, or whatever. Today, we're talking about season 13 of Futurama or season 3 of Hulurama, because the season 13 just dropped, and I've seen some traffic on some old Futurama reviews from when I did the first season of Hulurama. So people seem to be looking for stuff, and I did not do season 12 / season 2 Hulurama on this channel. I did watch it. I thought it was better than the first season of Hulurama, but very forgettable. I think they definitely are starting to be better and find their stride now that they're not having, now that they're not writing so many years apart. Stuff's a little more timely. Yeah, season 2 was just forgettable. So, what about season 3 of Hulurama? Well, I guess first things first, when I went onto my Hulu to watch it, I did the natural, oh look, it's on continue watching because there's a new season out. So I just went ahead and hit play on the first episode and watched it. But then suddenly, I saw, oh, how about episode 2 up next? I went, wait, did they drop a second episode? Has it been a week already since the first one came out? Do they do like Amazon does and do like 2 to 3 episode drop first and then it'll be weekly? But no. It's actually the whole thing. All of season 13 dropped at once, which is different from the first, or from seasons 11 and 12, which were a weekly. So, I think a lot of people can come to the same conclusion that I kind of did when I saw this is, oh, there may not be season 14. They dumped it all to go, look how great the numbers are and how many people are watching and the hours watched of season 13, because no one was watching the first 2 of Hulurama, seasons 11 and 12. I know it's going to get very confusing. I keep going back and forth. That's how my brain is going back and forth, too. And this is off the cuff and not written and scripted. See, Rob, this is what happens when I go off the cuff. But, yeah. You know what? I'm not all that surprised, really, because I was excited for it to come back. But as you'll kind of get from my first season review, all those episodes, it wasn't great. There were signs of age that was outdated references, how they structured it into the year 3000 and plus to make it timely for references for what's happening today didn't work. There were some kind of modern politics stuff in there that went a little, Not that Futurama doesn't always find a clever way to make modern stuff into their shows, but they satired a fair amount of everything. They were pretty well balanced. The balance started to be a little off. And, voices, all the voice actors sounded older. I think the comedy itself just was not as tight and as good as it was. I mean, Futurama has probably like the first 5 seasons are really, really good. And then once they started to get on and off canceled and everything like that, they really did kind of start going downhill, but had very cult following to keep bringing them back. It seems to be happening again. They're getting these 3 seasons. They're not as good as the last batch of seasons. Probably get canceled again. People will continue to do memes about Futurama in its prime, but I don't know if we'll get it to come back. So now how am I going to pivot? Am I going to watch the whole season review? Am I do the natural mic thing on Tree's Company? Am I just going to watch season 1, give initial thoughts, and then watch the whole season? Yeah, probably that one. I'm currently working on a really long video. Not really long. It's going to be like 24, 25 minutes, but there's a lot of a lot of new editing tricks I'm trying to learn put into it. Stay tuned for that. It's for a show you've probably never heard of or cared about, or if you did, you probably didn't like it. But an old TV show from back in the day. But I'm trying to get stuff like animations and avatars and fancy things in there. So stay tuned for that. But so who knows when the season 13 will come? The full season 13 review will come out. But right now, let's stick with just season 1. 6 minutes in. Sorry if you've clicked away from rambling, but let's just go ahead and get into it. Season 13, episode 1. What we got? Episode 1. Starts with the classic opening. Nothing really funny with the words. Nothing really noticeable. So the whole episode is about Fry and Leela and their relationship, where Fry is going, "Oh, we're so alike. Isn't it wonderful? That's why we work." And Leela goes, "No, we're completely opposite. That's why we work." All spent from Bender asking, "Hey, why do you two as a couple work?" They're kind of the B plot, because the main plot is actually Bender. It's a Bender story. But Bender invites him out to the club, and they do this whole joke where there's a new hotter club, and it's a club in robot hell. Turns out Bender's short, and it's like a bunch of some other episodes. Bender finds out something, goes, "Oh, I'm not as great as I was," enhances himself, realizes he doesn't need to enhance himself. Gets put back. That's the structure of the episode. That's pretty much the entirety of the thing. They make steroid jokes. They make Pacific Rim jokes. The timely, well-known movie Pacific Rim that everyone would totally get all references for. But they did make references for that, and I did like it. This was definitely, I think, one of the stronger episodes they've ever done in these 3 rebooted seasons. Like, they hit a lot of what Futurama was supposed to be known for. They did jokes about healthcare. My favorite part was... That's right, that's the joke that I really liked. My favorite part was the robot devil doing the infomercial for robot steroids, or digital steroids, D-roids, and him doing, "Don't take D-roids if you're allergic to D-roids." That's always the first thing they do. It's like, "Don't take this if you're allergic to it." How do you know if I'm allergic to it? Nobody knows if you're allergic to it until you take it or they do a test. And again, in the classic, it's the Meadows. It's just going, you'll have your, leaky bowels, small antenna. All the classic, here's what a medicine ad is jokes that you'll see. It was all pretty good. I'm not going to tell the joke or butcher it. I can't think of anything really funny to say. The Leela and Fry jokes got kind of old. The episode, they weren't that funny, and it just kept going on. And then for it all to be a payoff of a Pacific Rim joke, I thought it kind of brought it back a little to me. I did like the Pacific Rim stuff. Again, I think this was one of their strongest opening ones. They didn't try to get... They had a part where they joked about Bender when he was tall with D-roids. Oh yeah, here it is. Him constantly being tall, so you can't see the movie. And I thought it showed a lot of restraint for them to not make Calculon like a Trump allegory or anything. Just Calculon as a president, what you think. You have the joke about, quick, look at the TV, so you expect there to be something on the TV, but it's just soup. And then that's conveniently cut off with the news, so they know that Bender has become so tall that he's become retarded and is stumbling through, and so they do a bunch of Godzilla jokes, Pacific Rim jokes, stuff like that. They even have old jokes about classic Godzilla movies. Oh yeah, Lots of jokes about supermodels only liking tall people. So it's a robot. It's a robot supermodel who's literally attracted to whatever the tallest thing in the room is. A bunch of stuff. They really let on a bunch of different things. It wasn't no specific, except for like the Fry and Leela part, that was just purely just Fry thinks they're alike, Leela thinks they're not alike. They're pretty much alike, and then it ends up being Pacific Rim joke. That's kind of all that is. All the other characters had not much to do, which is fine, perfectly fine for Futurama. Having a more Bender-focused story is great. But alright, I was just ended up watching it again. But all the Bender stories had lots of jokes going on. He was doing tons of different layers, tons of different jokes. So a lot of them landed, not necessarily like bursting out laughing, oh my god, amazing landed, but these amount of them landed, and I smiled a lot. I thought it was, in terms of comedy, I thought it was one of the better ones. I think it took a couple years for like Fry and them to warm up their voices, or Billy West them to warm up the voices to do Fry again, because I think they did sound better. Writing was a little bit tighter. It felt a little bit more like old Futurama, not like peak Futurama, kind of like after the first time they got canceled. But this one felt better. So it was kind of sad to see that it was all the episodes dumped out at once for potential canceling. Yeah, there you go. First initial thoughts, not much. I'm honestly probably gonna forget the episode just like I did season 2, or all of season 2. But I liked it enough to keep going. And I don't know if other videos take so long. Maybe I'll do an episode, or maybe I'll just do full season. I don't know. Borderlands 4 is also out. I got that. I know Big Birdie Boy has been playing it. I've been wanting to play it too. Maybe try to stream it this weekend while I take a break from personal social gatherings and editing minds of the latest video. Who knows? Stay tuned for that one. If you got this far, thanks. I guess. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Futurama. It's mid again. Yeah.